Hello, my people. How are we all doing? I am feeling a lot better. My stomach, I think I posted a video, like 5 days ago, maybe a week ago at this point, talking about how I've got a serious stomach issue. It turned out to not be food poisoning. I think it's more like gastroenteritis, whatever it's called, that stomach bug, whatever you call it, that's what I had. And I'm slowly recovering with help from such items as an apple and probiotics. I don't like the taste of probiotics. Right, so you read the juicy title. You know there's drama. Because I have been called out by Killyourinnerloser, aka Andy, aka my friend, aka my mentor of the last 2 years or so. He has called me out for something that I did on this YouTube channel. He said that he looked over my first 20 to 30 videos, to which my reaction when someone says they've looked over my early videos is always, but my early videos are trash. Just so bad. I've gotten a lot better. I'm definitely more like zoned in into what I'm doing. But he doesn't care like if someone sucks at the beginning of them trying a new endeavor. What he cared about was that I sounded like I was regurgitating his ideas and his concepts from his articles. And I guess really because I've had coaching from him and he's like been a direct mentor to me, that of course I'm going to like be espousing a lot of his ideas because I've taken his ideas on board in my own self-improvement and my own general journey. And obviously when I get into content creation, the other thing's going to be like I am heavily influenced by how he puts his content across, not just the ideas, because a lot of the ideas aren't necessarily his originally. Like with all of us in self-improvement, we've all taken our ideas from other people and tried to build on our mentors, whether we know them or not. We have mentors, we have people who it's ideas that we love and we really respect what they've achieved, and we're trying to replicate that. Something that Rich Cooper said this, another guy that I watch occasionally. He said R&D doesn't stand for research and development, it stands for rip off and duplicate. And Andy went into this as well. He said that there's this really good book that he likes called Steal Like an Artist. So Andy wasn't calling me out. He was trying to make a point, which is if you're trying to get into content creation and you admire people and you're like inspired by people, you sort of should like do what they do until you find your own voice. And Andy was very gracious enough to say that I finally found my own voice. If you don't know what I'm talking about, by the way, it's on Andy's Patreon. He does release these podcasts eventually, but he's doing a 365 project. So when he gets a few days ahead, he will release them on his Patreon, but they will come out as specific days on his podcast. So his podcast is not actually readily available unless you're on his Patreon, the one I'm talking about. I'll leave a link to Andy's Patreon. Get on it. Everyone get on it. It's only £5 to get his podcast early, and he does a load of podcasts ahead of time. So you get tons of podcasts. I think he's like 20 days ahead or something stupid. There's a lot of stuff in there. I look over my old stuff, and there are definitely videos I can see where he's like, I can see why he's thought that, because there's stuff like self-improvement and momentum, nothing in moderation, accountability is important, very like basic bitch video ideas that I almost certainly got off of him in terms of some of the ideas as well. There's some stuff which I think is more me, like the hostel stuff. And then I've got like random videos where I reviewed like football games and like I reviewed Tenet. So my early videos are an absolute fucking dumpster fire. Don't go and look at my early videos, guys, please. But yeah, it wasn't until like the 50th video or so where I started really coming into my own with my own ideas. Like there's a really good video, I need to redo it because the video is a bit bad in terms of quality, but it's about not getting obsessed with your own hypothetical history, which I need to redo on that one. That was a very original idea. I remember speaking to Andy about it and being like, this is an original idea I have had that I think people struggle with and I want to get it out there. And that's what more and more of my videos have become about my own ideas and what's helped me, which is really important. Like, because it's my journey, like it's my self-improvement. Like I'm trying to improve, because like with Chris and Good Looking Loser, which is the guy before Andy, and then you've got Andy. So there's two different content creators that I really base a lot of my ideas off of. And Andy always talked about trying to improve on what people have done before him. So he's trying to improve on what Chris did before him. And my job as someone who is mentored by Andy is to improve on what Andy did. So it's very much standing on the shoulders of giants kind of thing. Although that was a bit of an insult that Newton didn't mean that in a good way. He meant that to insult the height of one of his rivals. But yeah, it's about building on the knowledge we have before. That's basically the whole thing. And with content itself, the plagiarism angle is a little bit concerning, but like that's not how he meant it. And I know he didn't mean it like that. And I know he even said like copy, if you want to get started and the only thing you can do is like copy someone else's stuff, but do it in your own voice. That is fine, because in that process, you're going to learn, you know? And in some ways, this video has been me regurgitating Andy's point. Anyway, I hope you got something out of this video. It's been a weird trip for me looking back at my first few videos. I'm going to do something involving my first ever video soon, so look out for that. But until next time, guys.